Disclaimer. Gameplay is taken from a dynamic test environment. Your game experience may differ. Hey everybody, welcome back. So, they changed some stuff in the game again. And I personally think it's very cool. So let's take a look at it. Here's our MLC blog for Titans Attack. And, you know, it is what it is. But right here, hidden, they talk about... also check out new and improved tag boosts for a variety of superstars. Okay? They stuck those right here. They're awesome. All right? Imperium got to change. Get the tables got to change. And you can see changes from 4 green MP to 300% all gym damage. 100% red gym damage to 300% all gym damage. Ministry of Darkness got updated. Instead of 2 black MP, it's 5 all MP. The Wyatt 6 went from +4 multiplied gems to 6 multiplied gem strength. The Acolytes went from 50% all move damage to 300% all gym damage. The Old Judgment Day, now look, you've got to look in here and figure out which ones are relevant. They went from 8 blue MP to 5 all MP. New Judgment Day, you can see the same thing. Make sure you look through here. Headbangers changed around. Head Shrinkers changed around. The Bloodline changed around. And then they added some new ones. My Family Tree. Solo, Tongaloa, and Tamatonga. 200% all gym damage. Andrade and Rey Fenix. 300% all gym damage. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. This is Bow Down to the Queen. So this is Tech Charlotte and Trick Bliss. 200% all gym damage. That's spicy. I like that a lot. The Vision +5 all MP. This is SFR, Massive Bronson Reed, and Break Everyone Braun Breaker. And then the Viper and American Nightmare. This is one that I don't quite understand, but it's cool. +6 all MP. So there's a lot of big changes here, and especially stuff like this, this all MP stuff. And then I really like the +6 multiplied gem strength. Okay, these are some pretty cool ones. In fact, the only one that I don't like at all, and this is not necessarily a factor of the tag link itself, but it's Imperium as being the weakest out of all 3 of these. Not because the effect boost is bad, but it's because these guys are all technicians. And we'll talk about that in a second. So these are all updated tag links, and there's some pretty good cards that are affected here, right? Undertaker the Phenom is pretty decent. Undertaker Ministry of Darkness, also very decent. Viscera is awesome. Bo Dallas can do some work. Dexter Loomis can certainly do some work. Huskus the Big Boy, this one's funny. We'll talk about this one later. Nikki Cross is also very good. And then even Eric Rowan with his triple blue setup can get some value out of this as well. Down here, Rhea Ripley is very interesting with this 5 all MP plus her gear. I think this means you can just get rid of MP trainers completely. I'm also interested. I haven't done any testing yet on JD McDonough and see how much more powerful he becomes. Down here, New Judgment Day. The biggest one I'm excited about is the Revenge Tour Liv Morgan. 6 all MP. If you run either double yellow or triple yellow, you know that 10 MP finisher is a little bit of a bear. This is certainly going to make it a lot easier to get to, and you're going to be able to increase your gem damage pretty significantly. So this is exciting. Pair it with a JD McDonough, who's also going to get better because of this. Woo! Even Raquel Rodriguez in spot 2. You know what I'm saying? So there's some interesting cards kind of buried in here. This one I think is the spiciest. If you have a full whale entourage, you can get this Alexa Bliss, Twisted Bliss cranked up in gym damage already, and just adding 200% on top of it for just putting Charlotte Flair next to her. That's amazing. All right. So I figured what we would do is now that we've gone over all of these, is let's take a look in game, fully live. This is my account. This is in the middle of a live event. I figured we'd just look at some of these and kind of see what's going on. Now, full disclosure, since this is my account, since this is a live test environment in a live contest, there's going to be some stuff that shows up. I'm going to be facing some hyped opponents. I'm going to have hype on a couple of cards. There's no way of getting into a real, true, this is exactly what happens if you do this scenario by testing this way. So your results are going to be different than mine unless literally everything lines up, including your opponent's entourage, strap and metal setup, how much hype they've got. Like this is very dynamic. So don't anticipate your results are going to equal mine. This is more of a, hey, check it out. This new stuff is in the game. Let's see how we can make it benefit us. Okay. So I want to start off with Viscera. I really like Viscera already. I find that I go and use him a lot more than I ever really thought I was going to use him. And then we're going to go find Bradshaw real quick. This, by the way, hold on. Let's look at this real quick. This has finally started working kind of the way I think it's supposed to. This is really nice. You can look down here, and here's all the Ministry of Darkness that I've got on my roster. I think it's all of them. But if you wanted to, you can also go and search for the Attitude Era. I don't remember this working quite as well as what this is working right now. So I think that got like a little sneak shadow buff. Let's make sure that I've got all of my promoters on the way they're supposed to be. And we will make sure that my biz is set up. And I will take a little bit of time and talk about all the bells and whistles I've got. But this isn't necessarily going to be how to run these superstars. But I will touch on everything to kind of set a stage of what we're about to see. So my viz is hype level 1. I do have the Ministry of Darkness moment at level 30. So my yellow gems are going to be stronger. My moves will be stronger. My defense will be a lot better. And then my multiplied gems will be increased already from the moment itself by 3. So we'll get a buff there. I actually don't run viz with any plates with this move setup. But I do have Fury 3s and 100% gem damage trap. Over here, I'm going to be running the yellow, red move set, spinning heel kick, increase red MP by 10, two-handed choke slam, 4x4 random area and multiply gems of string 12. These will turn into 15 because of the moment. And then choose a 6x6 area to swap into yellow gems. And then if we face an acrobat, we will buff our multiply gems by 5. Okay, so if we do face an acrobat, this 12, which will be 15, will turn into 20 from here. Now, if you look, I only need 6 MP to get yellow loaded. All right, but the Ministry tag moment gives me 5 MP already. So technically, as I sit, I am already loaded with my yellow move, which will load up red just by using the move. I tried to figure out a way to double click it, but it was not a significant damage increase, and didn't really work all that well. So I'm still going to use all 3 moves, but I can now add Braun Strowman here. Yellow moves start with 2 more move points. Now I'm going to start with 8. This will protect me against MP, double MP rainbow down, if I find that on defense. So I don't even have to check for that anymore. Which is super nice. Okay. You still check and make sure that they're not running 3 yellow MP downs and stuff like that. But you don't necessarily need to worry about the rainbow MP downs. So since I don't have to worry about MP, I could run Sherry. So now my multiplied gems are 18 plus the 3 from the moment. Now they're turning into 21s organically. If I hit a acrobat, they turn into 26s. This is a pretty big. This is a pretty big buff. And then over here, I've got yellow gem damage and yellow multiply damage. Okay. Big Viz here is a multiply reversal character, which is really nice. And I'm going to shop my opponents a little bit to see if I can find some relative. Oh, well, maybe I just do this. Nah, I'm a little scared of Jacob. What I will do is this right here. Since he's an acro, we can kind of see upper end damage. We're not going to go first. That's fine. Okay. I'm also not shopping for notoriety right now. Kind of is what it is, right? So yeah, let's take a look at this. This should be about the biggest that I'm going to be able to get Viscera to hit, and the hype levels are going to equal out, so there's no hype buff in any of the math that you're about to see. So here's our 21s. We got 15 of them. Now they're going to turn into 26s, and we're going to blow all of this up, and it's going to turn into yellow. It's going to be a big hit. It doesn't even show us. I mean, that should have crested 100 million pretty easily. Again, I'm not running any plates. You could probably put a nightmare plate on him. Every time you make multiplies, increase your yellow gem damage. You could put the ministry plate on him. You could put the viscera plate on him. There's all sorts of stuff you could do. I don't find it necessary with Viz. The fact that he's also a multiplied gem reversal person is super nice. He can be reversed 2 different ways, admittedly, but this is, I don't know, that's a really nice upgrade to him that allows you to really crank up his gem damage. Why is that important, right? If he hits hard one way, what does it matter if you can make him hit any harder? This is how you start fighting up against hype. This is how you start punching up. If you know that you don't have a lot of hype to bring into a fight, especially in tag teams or showdowns, you can now overclock essentially your card to hit significantly harder than it normally would to make up for the higher defenses that you'd be facing if you have a hype disadvantage. That's why this is important. This is actually a low-key game balancing thing that they just did with a bunch of pretty decent superstars. It's not everybody, but it gives you a path through. And I find that, personally, I find that extremely important. Okay? So let's keep going. We got more stuff we can talk about. I think we proved what I needed to prove with Viz. This may be my favorite one. Let's talk about the Vision. Okay? Go to contests. Not contest, I'm sorry. Let's go to available and let's look for Braun. And I'm using this Braun because he is my best Vision card, and he's one of my favorite cards in general. I've used this Braun Breaker for a very long time. He's even one of the first videos that I've even made in this game was about that Braun Breaker. Whoops, too many E's. So let's look at Bronson Reed here. Now, this is another MP up. Any color moves start with 5 more move points. The way I run Braun is a little bit different. And again, video on my channel, just scroll back. It's one of my oldest ones. Is typically I would load up with black MP, side belly to belly suplex. So a 7x3 area and snowfall gems up top, and then overhead belly to belly down below, making a multiplied gems of strength 5. And then I would just hope for a vertical 3 swipe and break, 3 columns of snowfalls. Everything falls into black. And we do a decent chunk of damage there. And then I let my strap do the rest of the work. We can use Queen's Tiara to increase our black gem damage after multiplies. And then after breaking black, you toss a bunch of red, hope to get some more cascades, stuff like that. All right. It is very board dependent and it is very RNG dependent. I know it's not the safest way of doing it and it's not the most consistent way to run this card, but when it works fantastically. All right. especially in feud, because this moment is feud based. It is multiplied gems generated from moves increase their strength by 5. It's a pretty big increase, and then he gets a little bit of red gem buff. But with this, we can actually get everything loaded. Turn 1. So we can introduce the Diving Bulldog into the gameplay, choose 8 gems and make into red gems. We can do right across the top, break everything. And we can also crank up our MP or our multiply gems. Okay, so we're getting 5 from the tag link, 6 from us. Okay, so that means we need 2 red and 1 black to get started. Here's our 2 black. Here's our 2 red. Plus, we're making multiplied gems of strength 9 now. You could toss a Leo here. You can toss zombies. Doesn't matter. Anything you can do to just ramp up multiplied gem damage is what you're going to look for. All right. Let me make sure my promoters are set. And just by happy coincidence, I have Bronson Reed at hype level 3, which is super nice. So let's go pick on somebody. I really like facing tricksters with this Brawn Breaker because his hardcore move is stun tricksters. Super nice. Specifically great against Ozzy. I know Ozzy is a pretty common SD defense character. So you can kind of target him with this Brawn Breaker and be just fine. Let's go ahead and check out what this does. Now this turns Brawn Breaker into such a consistent card, provided we didn't run into any MP down, which we didn't, that you can actually start adjusting the plates. You could probably put a Black Royal Rumble on if you wanted to and take advantage of the Queen's Tiara. You could also put on a Ministry plate now. Like there's other stuff that you can do that would significantly increase your damage here. This is just, remnant of my old system. I don't want to create a 3-match here, so I'm just going to do a row break up here, and this will pop the whole board black, which would be very nice. $95 million. That'll do. Right? That's a 95 million 3-click. Yes, you do interact with the board, but you interact with the board in a very minimal amount of way, and you're breaking a lot of multiplies. You're breaking his primary gem damage or his primary gem color. It's awesome. It's awesome. It turns him into a significantly more consistent card, which I think is fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my man just keeps getting better. I love Brawn Breaker. Let's take a look at some other stuff. So another one that I really like is the Wyatt 6 moment. Just because big multiplies are usually big damage. And all of the Wyatt 6, if I remember correctly, do generate multiplied gems. So it's something that all of them are going to be able to take advantage of. Wrong one. This is Mercy is what I want to do. So we got Mercy right here, and then we are going to switch over to just another one, and which for me will be I want to run Gacy, and I'll explain why here in a second, or you'll see why here in a second. So let's take a look. Mercy, no hype. Just the regular Wyatt 6 moment is unlocked, so multiplied gems are going to increase by 4, and none of the rest of the stuff is really relevant other than the gem defense here. His strap setup is the Jade plate. Whenever you make multiplies, increase your gem damage by 100. This plate is just a holdover from an entire different wrestler. I just swiped this strap here. It's only a 50% gem damage and Fury 3s. And we are going to be running his triple green moveset. So it is reversible because of the MP up and the multiplied gems. So just keep that in mind. So this is going to be a very traditional setup for him. Okay. We're going to focus on boosting multiplied gem damage. We are going to use Striker Live here. to get an extra +2. So now our multipliers should be strength 9, but we are getting the additional 4 here. So they're going to be 13 just from this. All right, let me make sure I got a promoter on Gacy, which I do. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to select the wide 6. So we're going to get an additional 6. Now, let's see here. No hype. Let's find somebody not scary. Hype would obviously make this a lot easier to deal with. But, you know, you do what you got to do. I will eventually find somebody that I'm not absolutely terrified of that is hyped up who's going to get the turn before me. I just have to be able to find them. Oh, no hype at all. I'll go first. Let's go. And I don't think this Wyatt reverses multiplies, right? No, he has a submission reversal. Okay. Now, as far as damage numbers go here, we do have to talk about this. Wyatt 6 do get 100% gem damage buff to multiplied gems. So this is going to skyrocket Mercy's damage. But again, this is a dynamic situation. You can't expect all these damage numbers to line up exactly because we are in a live contest. This would not happen in tours, for instance. But also, he has no health, so we're not going to be able to see how big this hits. Spoiler alert, it's kind of insane the way this is set up with the showdown buffs. He's going to be making 2 rows of 21. Yeehaw! That's a lot. And then he's basically going to break almost all of them into his primary gem damage color and the showdown buff. Little Cascade, 187 million. 3 clicks, you don't interact with the board. Nice. And the entourage was relatively easy. You can just run double zombie, green MP up, and Striker Live, who was free. So, yeah, that's awesome. Now, let's check. The last one I want to talk about is you can finally run the one-click Gacy setup with this tag link. And check this out. This is so awesome. I love this so much. So we are going to swap Gacy to the front. We're going to, oh, no, excuse me. There we go. We'll drop Mercy in space 2. My game is going to freeze. We didn't. Okay, sweet. What did I use previously? I think it was yellow multiply gems. Going to get that set up. You just need a zombie here. Leo would be great here. Howdy would be fine here. It doesn't matter. This is literally a one-click setup, so you need 10 yellow MP to make it work. The move is make 9 random gems into multiplied gems of strength 10, and then finisher, choose a 2x7 area to swap into red gems and pin the opponent. The strength 10 will turn into, I think, strength 20, maybe even strength 22, because he is running this moment as well. So that's 4 plus 6 from the tag link. So he's kicking out a whole bunch of strength 20s. And then in order to make this work, you do need a plate. Where is it? There you go. That's the plate that you need. This top plate doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to stick a Fury 3 on here. That's rainbow. This will work just fine. You could probably use red to kick up a little bit more extra damage, or yellow to kick up a little bit more extra damage. But this is going to be fine. Got a bad strap, 40% gem damage. It could be a lot higher. All right. But this is legitimately a one-click build. And that is just hilarious to me. Let's find somebody I'm not particularly scared of. Hopefully I can find another 0 hype opponent. There we go, 0 hype opponent. This should work magnificently. Let's see. There's only one trick, and that is with the finisher, you have to figure out a way to line up next to a red gem, like right here or right here. You pick your 2x7 area, and you want to place it right here, because to proc the Sheriff's Badge, you have to break 15 red gems to make 30 yellows. So you just, even if I stuck it right here, I would catch that one, and that would be 15. But I'm going to put it right smack dab in the middle. And we snagged all of the multiply gems at 75 million. He's set up with gem defense, which I did not check. I probably should have. And now I think I'm ruined. Let's see what happens. Is he going to swipe? Come on, swipe. He's not going to swipe. So we're just going to quit, because I don't think I'm going to be able to win. We'll try. We'll see what we can do. We'll try here. Okay, so oh, is it going to give me a second shot? Are you going to give me another? Oh, it's going to give me another chance at life. Let's go. All right. Sweet. Let's try this one more time. Worst comes to worst, I tag in Mercy, and we know we're probably going to win. This will be just fine. Let's do that. My gem damage problems could be mitigated by a better strap. Oh yeah, look at this. This should be just fine, right? Yeah. One click. Now, obviously, it didn't work on Rick, but you know, whatever. We're not going to. We're not going to be too awful mad at that. Cool. So yeah, that's the new tag links. That is what has been, put into the game, and that's what's been added. This gives you a lot of flexibility too, right? So Ministry of Darkness here, we're talking about Viscera, and I didn't really need any MP trainers. Since I didn't need MP trainers, I can ramp up damage. The other thing you can do is you can start adding MP down coaches to help yourself on offense. You can now start tailoring your entourage setup to kind of work for whatever situation that you're in. This is a highly fluid, great system in order to kind of use what's on your roster to battle against hype. That was 4 W's by me, by the way. Only one of them had hype more than one? My Braun Reed, where I had a hype 4, was the only time I had a hype advantage. Everywhere else, I was running either hype 0 or hype 1. And still managed to do just fine. Granted, I did shot my opponents a little bit, but that's probably what everybody is doing in Showdown anyway. Go. So I'm going to keep experimenting with these. You may see a follow-up video about this, because there's a lot of other characters I haven't tested yet and haven't tried. I haven't seen if any of these get really boosted into doing something interesting. I spent some time on stream playing around with Shredder. I'm not convinced that he's got a top secret tag link boost here with the all 4 MP, but it's not going to stop me from trying again. Yeah. I hope you learned something today. I hope you've been entertained by something today. Or I just hope you like the sound of my voice. If you have, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Later.